But you look at these different events that take place, and like I say, I think that this event in Brazil, if it's true, I at this point don't have any reason not to believe that it is true.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more about that.
Yeah, to see really what stands up. I mean, is this all part of this? This lockdown that we're going through. Did somebody know this was going to happen?
Right.
Because even some of these groups that were talking about red flags and the government saying, "Oh, they're going to tell everybody that the UFOs are attacking us," and I kind of really chuckled at that. I'm like, well, dude, that's a long reach. But hey, listen, maybe, and this was 5 or 6 months ago. So when this event happened, I haven't told them about the Brazilian thing at all because they're like, "See, I told you what was going on."
Yeah.
So I've kind of kept it from them. But listen, at some point, if it's true, I have at this point no reason to believe that it's not. It's going to come out, and it's going to be it will be something worth of talking about. And whether they say it was a UFO or they say something crashed there, and the military took it away, is still going to create enough of a mystery that people are going to want to know.
Yeah.
You got people there that are trying to fly drones over the area. They're trying to take hang gliders in and see where it came through the trees. And some of these guys were talking about doing this.
I heard that. Yeah. I heard guys talking about paragliding around there.
Around it.
Trying to find more information on it.
So again, like I say, something definitely took place. It's just how far do you want to believe? And when I started asking the questions, it kind of turned over the rocks. I did it from a perspective of, look, I know you guys are busy right now,
Right.
but I got a question to ask. And, half of me wanted to believe, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The other half, the reality side is, well, wait a minute. How real is this? And what are they really going to tell you?
Yeah.
Even when, it's funny, after the fact, the former chief of police there in Brazil, I sent him a quick, hey, dude, I figured this out. BOPE told me that they're there on site now with it locked down. And he replied back to me, Mike, I didn't even know a UFO crashed here.
Oh, damn.
What?
So he, and again, like I say, man, he's retired. He still lives in Rio, but I would figure that everybody would know. And maybe he did know. He just wouldn't tell me. That's why I didn't reply back to you right off the get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't reply back to me till I told him that I got the information from the guys at BOPE. And then he was like, I didn't even know a UFO crashed here. It wasn't like, no, a UFO didn't crash here. Let me just go ahead and correct this whole situation. It was, I didn't know this event even happened.
Yeah.
So I've kept it on my phone. I go back and look at it every now and then. Even the day after I had talked to the group here, I called the Supreme Leader and I said, hey, will you pull my leg the other day? Are you being serious, dude? He's like, why would I? Mike, I'm telling you, we were just sitting here talking about it. It's that amazing. And I'm like, so you are being absolute, you're not pulling my leg? He goes, no, dude, I'm not pulling your leg. It's whatever took place there, it's real. And it's going on right now. So again, it's just such big news. Are we approaching that perspective in our life now? I mean, it's supposedly happened so many times with these crashes around the world.
Right.
They had one a crash in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that took place in I want to say the late 70s, out in the woods there. And everybody kind of played it off and, oh no, it didn't really happen. Yet you meet or you watch a show that has the mayor on there and he goes, yeah, not only that, I brought the preacher with me because they said they thought it was a plane that went down and they wanted me to bring the preacher out there to read everybody their last will and rights. But we got out there and it was some kind of bell looking object that we'd never seen before. So now you're like, well, scratching your head going like, what? Well, what are we talking about here?
Right.
So it's, like I say, I think the phenomena is going to get bigger.
Yeah.
I think that it obviously there's got to be some truth to it. I can't believe that all these people are.
Right, there's something going on.
There has to be.
For sure.
There
Says,
has to be.
while the Brazilian press reports that no one reported these objects to local authorities, allegations of loud explosions and gunshots. The Brazilian military what does that mean? Cordoning? Military cordoning off the area. And army personnel arresting anyone trying to get close to this supposed crash site have taken over Twitter and the subreddit Aliens.
I mean, again, here we go. We've locked it down. We don't know why we've locked it down. And if you get near the place, by the way, we're going to arrest you. So it makes you scratch your head. So something is obviously going on there. And whether it's,
And why do these aliens keep going to Brazil?
I think it's probably a great place to
South
get away.
America in general.
It's those Brazilian wax jobs that the girls get.
Yeah.
But again, you wouldn't think about it. You would think, are you kidding me? Why Brazil of all the places? Why Alaska?
Right.
Yeah. Is it so desolate there that you can come and go as you want? I mean, there's places on the map now on Google Earth where they say in Antarctica there's an opening where these things are coming and going every day. and that
Oh yeah, there's theories that there's aliens flying around on laser beams inside the Earth.
oh yeah. So I mean, again, whether it's true or it's not true, there's always a little bit of truth to some of it. And if you go back and you start kind of like, okay, well, let's talk about the Egyptians again. Let's go back to the Mayans. Let's go back to these guys who were cutting these stones and moving rock and doing things that were, I know you weren't doing with a hammer and a chisel, especially a brass
Hell
one.
no.
Yeah.
So is it a UFO that taught you how to this? You look at the pyramids, and when you go inside the pyramids, you see all this beautiful artwork that's in there. Well, who the hell was holding the flashlight?
Yeah.
What were they using to light the inside of those rooms? I mean, it wasn't a flame,
Right.
Because you'd have black soot all over the ceiling. And not only that, two of the guys I spoke to that were, both of these guys were archaeologists, and they had worked at the pyramids. They said the problem with the pyramids is just like a cave, that in certain areas there's only limited oxygen. So you go back into these real dark, tight areas, and they have to bring a thing to make sure the oxygen stays at particular levels. So he goes, you couldn't burn a fire inside to try to use it as light but you just wouldn't have the oxygen content there to be able to do that.
Right. Fire wouldn't burn.
So yeah, so you're like, well, okay, I never thought about that. That's kind of interesting. But again, so it leads you right back to the whole alien story again, and trying to figure out what is really going on. How did these stones get made? Why are they so perfect in their engineering? How did they know this technology? And then you get the Egyptologist or the ancient alien theologians that come out and say, hey, listen, this is really what took place. But it makes you scratch your head and you think, well, listen, something from a phenomenal is going on, because you wouldn't be able to do these events or to look at these things or to come up with the ideology that you're coming with today.
Right.
Who thinks about that shit? So
Shit is wild.
Going on.
Something's going on.
just amazing. Absolutely, something's going on, man. Like I say, Project Disclosure's got it going on.
Okay.
If you guys look up the Luis Elizondo, that's Elizondo, formerly with ATIP. ATIP
Okay, yep.
was a advanced aerospace threat identification program. Really, really cool. Lots of information.
Yeah, Luis Elizondo. Now he's part of To the Stars, TTSA, company co-funded by Tom DeLonge. What? From Blink 182?
Blink
Oh, yeah,
182, dude. He is a
He's into
big-
UFOs?
Oh, dude,
Oh,
he
yeah,
is
big time.
big. Matter of fact, he came out and said, "I want to thank everybody for now allowing this stuff from the Navy to come out, because it's proved me right."
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
He's
dude.
been like that for a long time, actually.
And he's actually said some people have come to his house and told him to shut his mouth about some of the things he was saying in the past, which was kind of
Really?
interesting. Yeah, yeah. And he goes, just because I'm this guy who's got a microphone that everybody will kind of listen to,
Yeah.
but they came to my house and told me, hey, you shouldn't be talking about things you don't know anything about. He's like, well, I guess I proved you guys wrong, because obviously here we are having this conversation now. But that's amazing, like
Yeah,
I say.
that's crazy.
Wild shit. Cool.
Unbelievable, man. So I'll tell you another story real quick. I'm at my house. I live out by the beach, and I come out one night to take a look down by the water, and I see this red light in the sky. And I'm kind of staring at it because it's kind of unusual. It's out over the water, and it looks like the same type of red light you would see in a tower, these blinking towers, radio towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as I'm kind of watching it, all of a sudden it turns from red to almost like a star color. And I noticed then, like, oh, damn, there's 3 more that are just like that. I wonder if they're the same thing. Well, then another one pops up. And all in all, 18 of them popped up. And as I'm trying to watch these things and trying to figure out what the hell am I looking at here, I went in the house and got my night vision real quick, came back outside, and I'm watching these things, and these what looked like a red long light turned into a white light that hung there for about 20 minutes, looked like a star, and they started moving down the beach. But when they moved down the beach, they actually turned into, you ever see these skin-colored synthetic gloves you put on, the rubber gloves?
Mm-hmm. Like a
Latex glove.
Yeah.
It was that color, and they were kind of clear, and on the outside of it had a light that went around it.
Yeah.
And without the night vision on, you couldn't see this. And all of them except one went down the beach. This actually came over and went over our house.
Could be one of those Chinese lanterns that people do for like memorials.
Dude, I mean,
Like
listen,
for Shane Lee or for space.
yeah, and listen, I tried to think of everything, but the strange thing was you couldn't see it without the night vision on. What it looked like a dirty cotton ball in the air.
Well, maybe because it was so far away, the light was dim. But
No,
when
dude.
you put the night vision on, it intensifies the light, so you could actually see it better from
Well,
where you
that,
are.
but the problem is this thing was like right over my house.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like a long, far distance away. And so I'm looking at this trying to figure out what the hell am I looking at here? I mean, so it's just one of those kind of odd events. I mean, listen, me and Danny went to a range to go do some shooting.
In Florida?
In Florida.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, what was that town called?
This is over it's in Brandon. I can't think of the little town, the little community we're in. But it's literally out in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
We're shooting guns out here.
Near, I want to say it's near like Bartow area.
Yeah, it's near Bartow. It's near, what is the little town that's right there? I can't think of the town. I'll think of it here in a second. But so we go out there to go shooting, and this is a place where we bring special operations guys out and we blow stuff up, and we can shoot and move, and you don't have to worry about. And so Danny wanted to come out and take us some video of us. He got in a really nice drone and sent this drone up above the facility we were at, and we'll say it was a half mile to a mile up, and I could hear it.
Yeah.
So we do all this videoing. As we come home that evening, I take this footage back to my house, and I start going through it, and I'm looking at for particular views of the gun we're shooting. And my peripheral vision picks up like this dirty little ball of light that I see in the video real quick. And so I stop it. I'm like, what the heck was that? And I go back and look at it. I'm like, wow, check that out. What is that?
Yeah.
Looked like someone beamed a golf ball at the drone or shot the drone, and it was like this big white bullet coming right at the
Literally. And so
camera.
I sent it to Dan. I'm like, hey, dude, check this out in these frames. Now, the frames I'd originally given him were incorrect. And so he went back through and he found them. And he goes, oh, yeah, dude, I found it. And so he would send me a video that we just witnessed and went through it at a clip at a time.
Yeah, right here.
And was able to pull that
Towards
out.
the end of it, I'm just sitting there. I got the drone just sitting there hovering. And then if you go frame by frame, you can see this like white golf ball looking thing coming right at the drone, but it goes underneath it.
But you can tell it definitely got redirected. And then all of a sudden, these guys from the Beyond Unknown show almost the same type of, again, I don't know what they're going to call it, a light, a golf ball, a beanbag, whatever that is.
Something.
They recorded the same thing.
It looks about the size of it, probably bigger than what a golf ball would look like flying that far away.
Like I say, they tried to say it was a bird. They tried to say, and even when Danny had talked about, hey, somebody's shooting at my damn drone.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I couldn't see it. It was a mile up right over our head. This is like 2 miles away. There's no way they could have shot at that from that distance at 2 miles and even been that close.
Right.
And this is the video you sent me, which is somebody else. And this is like the same exact thing.
Describe what a laser beam would look like. It kind of looked like a light beam. You know, if I had to describe what a
And now what is this video from?
it kind of looked like that. But when I slowed the
This is from Beyond the Unknown.
Okay.
It's just guys doing science work.
shape.
Then, about 60 seconds later, another mysterious object flies by.
That looks exactly like what it.
Dude, that's exactly
Yeah,
it.
it's the same thing.
But again, it's odd it's funny that these are all drones that are getting this video.
Yeah.
And I think it's the sound of the drone that's actually attracting these things. Now, you know, what are they? That becomes the big question.
That thing came from the sky.
High in the sky.
Clouds, yeah.
The one on my drone looked like it came almost just directly at it, parallel.
Well, I think it came from the wood line down low and then came up high. I think you still have the original video of this.
I do have it somewhere.
And to check it out. But again, it's just kind of those weird things where, wait a minute, this was probably 5 years ago when we did this, 4 years ago when we did this.
4 or 5 years ago for sure.
This video that just came out is just now, and these guys are also picking it up on their drones. And then there's another guy that was in Utah that was doing work on the oil fields, and he was actually doing reconnaissance on some areas for new oil, and one of these things flew out, and it was the exact same thing. And he was actually able to put a speed to it, which he said it was 3,800 miles an hour. It had covered 2 miles in 2 seconds and came up with the 3,800 mile an hour. So he's like, I don't know what this is. Now, the one that Danny videoed, initially, like I said, when you watch the video, you don't even see it. And I just happened to pick it up with my peripheral vision because it's moving so fast.
Yeah, you could miss that easily.
And then, very easily. And then as I went through it some more, there was even more that were in the video.
So the average bullet, according to Quora, travels 2,500 feet per second, around 1,700 miles per hour.
So it shows you right there. I mean, again, that's
so twice the speed
Right,
of a
they're
bullet.
saying
Of a bullet.
that's 2,000 miles an hour faster than a bullet.
so it makes you scratch your head.
So
Wait a minute.
That was like a 4 frame. That was like 4 frames. That thing that came through the drone shot. There was like 4 frames. You could see that white thing coming through. Right. So how do we do the math? That video clip was shot at 24 frames a second. So 24 divided by 4 is what? 24 divided by 4 is 6. Right. So what would that would be I'm fucking terrible at math.
Like I said, man, I just assumed it was about the same distance, about 2 miles we were looking at.
Right.
And that if it literally covered that. Now, on the video or the original video, you can't see it. But when you can slow it down and you start doing the math, okay, well, it covered.
You can't see it at full speed.
No,
regular
dude.
speed,
I mean, it literally just kind of showed up as a spot. And I was
So it was 16.6% of a second.
I mean,
That thing was in the frame.
dude, that's crazy. Think about how fast that is, really, and the fact that we even were able to see that thing and pull it up and look at it, and the fact that it showed up now in 2 other TV shows on TV. It's the same light, the same golf ball, the same whatever it is. It's the same.
Yeah.
And again, it makes you just scratch your head and like, okay, what is this, and why would it care about what our drones are doing? Which is just odd to me all the way around. And even when we viewed the first one, there were more of those, whatever that is, in there as well. I could see them.
Yeah.
But you get tied up with other things, and all of a sudden, reality of life comes back.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I got to feed the kids and take a bath. And
Yeah. I wish I could get paid to search this kind of shit.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, it would be. I mean.